far from BlizzCon as it gets. But guys, I don't know who this barcode is, but this is looking to be an exciting game because it's got FXO.JimRising. I love this guy. But that's because North America Pride. Folks, this is the ZOTAC Cup. I am Rifkin. I'm casted today with the lovely Zeph. And spawning here in the top right corner of the map, he's red. He's Zerg. It's FXO.JimRising.
And his opponent in the bottom left spawning is the blue Protoss. A superstar, no doubt, but we don't know who he is. It is the barcode.
I think it was you, right? The last time we had a barcode, we said to just call them Walmart to make it easy.
Yeah, I think so. I think that was me.
Maybe we'll just go with that one for this one. I'll have to ask him after the game actually to see who this is. If he's, well, I guess if he loses, he probably will disappear. But as players often do.
Probably should have asked before the game. Whoops. Oh well. Perhaps he can make a name for himself today.
Make a name, yeah. The barcode known as, oh right, the barcode. Actually, I think it's funny because for those who don't know, for a long time on the North American ladder, there was this kind of barcode equivalent. There's just 9 or 10 Quantic Flow accounts floating around the Master/GM ladder. I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah, there's tons of those. Now, JimRising, man. This guy is pretty good. I think he qualified for WCG in like 2012? Last year? Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure he did. So this guy,
Can I quote you on not wanting to be quoted for that, though?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay, so don't quote Zeph on that,
took me like
guys.
a second to get my head around that.
Yeah, wake up and good morning. But we have a gateway expand coming out of our barcode, aka Mr. Walmart. And I like this. Last game we saw the Forge Fast expand actually work quite nicely with a weird mix of a cannon rush for a different set of players, but the Forge Fast expand, or even not even Fast expand, I guess the Forge expand I should call it more accurately. I do like this because the Mothership Core getting out that much earlier, it's such an essential unit to the Protoss, I guess, not Armada, but Arsenal.
Yeah. And of course you get that nice early game possibility of harass if you want to move out with, say, like the Mothership Core, a Stalker, and a Zealot. But in this case, the Protoss will have to be a little bit careful because speed will be coming down for the Zerg as he did scout that gateway expand.
Now this is actually kind of interesting because there's very few opportunities where something like a Zergling all-in can work effectively, but when a Protoss does go for a gateway first, it's one of those small opportunities because we see actually our barcode here is sort of setting up this, you see this ghetto wall, and he wants to really reduce the area where a Zergling could get into his base, but the problem is a flood of them don't really care.
Definitely, and this is one build that you couldn't do in Wings of Liberty, especially in like the first few months after release, because 14-14 was the Zerg standard against any race. So if you went Gateway Expand, you were pretty much asking to die because they just run in, and that's kind of it. So it's really cool how the game's evolved so that that's a thing now. You can actually Gateway Expand.
Yeah, because for the longest time, that's stale Forge Fast expand. How boring was that in Wings of Liberty towards the end? You could blindfold cast a Zerg vs Protoss match for the first 8 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much. It was pretty terrible, and I was really disappointed with that too because PvZ was my favorite matchup, and then it just got too figured out. So Heart of the Swarm has definitely been a refreshing change.
Well, we do have not an all-in of Zerglings, but a plethora of Zerglings, if I could try and use a fancy word here. A many amount of Zerglings, I guess, coming over here. Sentry going to be slightly out of position. Oh no! Actually, these Zerglings can pick off the Sentry if they want, instead we'll just go in.
Indeed.
No, a missed Force Field as well!
That
Another
really
Force Field
sucks.
should go on the ramp, there we go! Just narrowly getting it in the nick of time.
Well, thank goodness for the Mothership Core because it will actually be able to deal with these Lings in
But that is
a
so
scenario
much...
where he... Oh, nice, he gets speed just in time, so we'll actually slip into the main and perhaps get some probe kills.
And has so much gas to lose this early. 2 sentries, 200 gas down the drain. Photon Overcharge desperately being used on the Nexus, but a good choice. Because what else is he going to use it for the time being?
Yep, we'll get one poor little probelet. Can he get a second? But these Lings have done enough. I mean, they killed 2 sentries. How many of them were there in the beginning?
I
like
think
6 or 8?
Yeah, it wasn't a large amount, but enough to make that really worth it. And keeping this other Zergling alive will continue to get that scouting information just on the edge of that Photon Overcharge. Wants to get back in there if he can. But the Mothership Core will shut this down. So really nicely done there by JimRising. Let's check the actual resources lost. It's not going to be much, but it is enough. Now, a Stargate coming up as a response to what just happened, I don't disagree with that, but it's difficult to make the Stargate work. It's funny, there's this end game goal for all Protoss, I think, to get to that Sky Toss composition, and if they do, they're pretty much going to win a game. But getting there is difficult. Everything out of that Stargate is the most expensive thing you've ever heard of.
Yeah, pretty much. But the Protoss are actually working out a lot of different ways to utilize that Stargate. There's all sorts of ground/air pushes, like we saw one last game with the +1 Zealots and the Void Rays, which is very common right now. There's even like solely Void Ray and Mothership core pushes.
Oh no, perhaps
right
a little
now.
eager here is ZOTAC. Sorry to cut you off. We'll try and get in here, but a nice wall off, plus the Zealot on hold position, and I believe there are 2 sentries floating about. Yeah, they're in the main currently, but force field's available if necessary. So, unfortunately, Mr. ZOTAC will be pushed back for the time being.
That's cool though. You can use those links to just make sure that there's no proxy pylons around, and perhaps you could even just camp outside the base and look for a move out or any sneaky probes that might be looking to place some pylons down in the near future, because right now we do have that +1 coming down from the forge and an extra couple of gas in the natural, so it could very well be a similar push to what we saw in the last game.
I am a little surprised we don't see any creep spread coming out of ZOTAC. We got that first tumor just now going down. Some players will actually sacrifice that first inject just to get the creep tumors going that much earlier, and on Neoplanet S, creep spread I feel is so essential, regardless of who you're playing.
Yeah, for sure. Alright, he does catch a Zealot out here, and I think he might have just spotted the Phoenix. But as it stands, he actually has no mineral line defense, so as soon as he sees that Phoenix, he'll probably want to slap down some spores. He does have an infestation pit coming down though, and that could mean swarm hosts.
Oh, good gosh, I love Swarm Host versus Protoss. They're so good, so strong right now. And we saw it earlier today. For those who didn't watch the WCS, I will not do spoilers, but a particularly well-known Protoss versus a very well-known Zerg player had some really cool Swarm Host play.
Yeah. Swarm host is just like the perfect response. Versus the air because it's nothing on the ground.
This queen will get picked off, unfortunately. The Phoenix harass is actually, I feel, one of the most, I guess, efficient harass methods a Protoss player has available to them, but he's got to be careful because back at home, he's got that defense, but there's a hell of a lot of Zerglings here.
Oh, nice. Yeah, those Zerglings could eventually chew through the Zealots if the sentries weren't there, but for now he's going to be able to deny the third, and that is fine in itself if that's all he can do. And here we go, he's going to get us around on the Zealots. Will the rest of the Warpins be able to clean that up? It looks like they should be able to with the +1 upgrade there.
Yeah, especially with the Mothership Core hovering above, providing that little bit of extra DPS. Zealots just barely going to go down, but the Zerglings will not be able to do any real damage here. Picking off the probe, that's about the end of that.
Yeah, that's a shame. And in the meantime, the Phoenix is just wandering around, seeing what they can see.
Oh, I would love for Mr. Barco to just pick off tons of these Overlords and try and actually supply block ZOTAC because he has been playing very close to supply all game.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Lots more links coming in. He really wants to deny on this Nexus. Let's see if he can get it this time. More Zealots are being warped in. Not as many as the last time, though.
Yeah, there's not going to be enough this time. A Photon Overcharge goes down on the Nexus, but Zerglings... Actually, there's enough that the Overcharge should be able to shut this down. But again, this is a lot of damage and a lot of resources being traded here for both players. Because there's a lot of Zerglings and a lot of Zealots being constantly traded out.
Yeah, and he wants to stay on Lings for the rest of the game, too. He's got the 2-2 upgrades coming along and Adrenal going straight into Ultralisks, getting on that 6 gas in his third base now, and he could actually just take another expansion very shortly, but he is going so mineral heavy right now.
Ooh, has ZimRising actually not replaced a lot of these queens? Okay, he has actually, never mind, sorry. Just they couldn't see them underneath the Overlord cloud. Okay, Photon Overcharge still running on this Nexus. We'll be running out here in just a second or two. These Zerglings go for that full surround. I'm just gonna focus on this Nexus, even with the Zealot warp in. I think it's gonna fall. It should definitely fall, Zeph.
Oh yeah, they're chewing through that so quickly, and it goes down just before the cannon gets up to help him out. Probes it as well, and he may actually be able to take a few workers down as a result. 10 workers killed in this game, not too bad.
Yes, I mean, some really good aggression coming out of ZimRising, but the damage he's being done is kind of superficial. That Nexus was a really nice pick off, but no real probes lost, as you mentioned, really low workers killed, so replacing this is just a matter of time. But we've got another huge amount of Zerglings coming across the field, and this is so great, because you guys might be thinking, Why doesn't our Protoss player just get some Colossus and shut this down? It's really difficult to deal with super high numbers of Zerglings, regardless of what you have on the field this early. Colossus is here, but Zerglings can just swarm into it if JimRising chooses to do so.
Yeah, he currently can't get off the ledge without being picked off by Lings on the way, and the Lings are going to continue swarming into the third. If he can keep denying this base, it's going to put him in a beautiful position with the Ultralisks.
Oh
Colossus
man,
in danger,
Colossus
going down once again.
That adrenal gland's making these cracklings do so much damage, gets away with 33 health, just barely, but this Nexus, the pylon has been taken out, no more reinforcements. Colossus does get taken down in the middle of the ramp by the Zerglings. A rare sight to see.
The third is denied once more, and all the Zealots cleaned up. Even the pylon's going to go down here, and an extra probe. So JimRising doing a great job with these Lings so far.
Oh my goodness.
Protoss player not happy.
Yeah, Lings have been scary so far, and now we have Chitinous Plating nearing completion, and 7-8 Ultralisks on the way to follow this up, Zeph. This is gonna... I mean, if our barcode has been frustrated, he's about to get really pissed off.
Yep, pretty much. And I mean, he does raise a good point. It is really hard for Protoss to secure that third on this map, so it's tricky. I mean, the Zerg is really abusing his mobility right now, and the Phoenixes as an opener is really not going to be able to do anything against that. So we've got Archons coming in right now as a way of helping to deal with these, as well as the Colossi. But I mean, he's on 2 base, and how many Ultras just popped out? 9?
And not to mention, a huge flood of reinforcing Lings will be what replaces this. The only... I mean, there are Immortals here, right? The Archons are going to get shredded to bits. The Immortals will eventually as well. I don't think there's enough DPS here from our barcode to really hold this. Unless he gets everything just like... I don't know, if JimRising decides to fight at the natural where the buildings are, so that the Immortals can stand behind it. Maybe the only situation. Because again, all he's going to clean out is these heavy duty units so he can flood 100 Lings and just wipe them out with the reinforcements. But here we go. Archon's going down so fast.
They're doing their best, ladies and gentlemen.
But this is actually really bad for JimRising. He can't engage near this wall. It's so stupid to say, but the best counter to Ultralisks, it's not the damage of the Immortals, it's the building placement in the Sim City that they can't break through. These are clumsy-ass units. But oh my god, is that a gold base going to be taken on Neoplanet S? I think for the first time ever?
Yeah, I've never seen anyone keep a hold of a gold base on this map, so let's see if JimRising can do it. He should be able to against the 2-base Protoss. He's just going to wait for our barcode player to move out, and then all he has to do is surround and pretty much kill him. We've got some more Templar being warped in, and basically he can go for one big push, and that's it. And if it doesn't work out, he's going to have to tap out in this game.
And our chat is getting really weird, by the way, while this game is going on. Guys, I will remind you all, the only rule here at Base Trade TV is don't be a dick, so keep it polite, keep it cool. We'll talk about stuff after the game, but Ultralisk and a lot of Banelings here in the southern part of the map. Zeph, give me your predictions on how this is going to go.
Well, I'm hoping for the Protoss' sake that he will actually be able to hold on to this third, but that is so many units. No Baneling speed though, so if you can get some good shots off while they're trying to come in, that'll mitigate some of the damage, but will he be able to do it? Here we go.
Oh, a surround on that first Immortal goes down for free. He's just going to bust into the natural. He doesn't care about the third. He's just going to take out all of these buildings. The Zerglings will just flood in right afterwards, and the Ultralisks, if they can just keep the Colossus at bay for the time being, might get the mineralized, but never mind. I'm saying all these wonderful things that are just not happening. As the Immortals are actually dealing with the Ultralisk quite handily.
Yeah, if JimRising wasn't doing any damage in the natural right now, I'd actually be pretty worried for him, because he's throwing away army after army, just trying to finish off the Protoss,
but the third
he's
base...
done a fantastic job. Oh, okay,
While all this is going on, I mean, our barcode has just been distracted, and a few small handful of units slip in, take out this Nexus once more, and as you guys saw, the main is pretty much mined out. The natural's not doing too well either. Our barcode is going to lose this game to attrition if he cannot secure a third, and I don't... Yeah. Sarcastic smiley face kind of recognizes that as well.
Yeah, it's really tough, especially when the Zerg has a mobile style like this. You're just not going to get that third, and JimRising's made damn well sure of that. But I mean, look how long he's managed to hold on in this game. He's been on 2-base for how long now? I mean, it's 20 minutes in the game.
God, look at this flood of Lings going to get us surrounded on all of these units. Archons and Colossus, you'd think this would just have no problem dealing with this, but there's so many Zerglings here. We see him backing up, trying to do what he can. But with the Archons... The Archons still stand, the Colossus are here, but the Immortals are now gone. Now there's nothing to stand to the ferocity of these Ultralisks.
Yeah, the SimCity's gone. There's not really much of a spot to micro back into to save those Immortals in the first place. So all that is going to be left are these Colossi, and unfortunately they're not really able to zap all these Ultralisks down.
JimRising with some immaculate macro, though, constantly flooding the field. You'd think he'd be just out of Ultralisk, but no. 52 Circlings, 5 more Ultras on the way. If these Ultras don't kill him, the next wave certainly will.
Yeah, he is being maxed out for the longest time, throwing more and more at the Protoss, who's holding on at 30 supply with 2 Colossi. I don't think they'll be able to save the day, but they're doing a good job at trying.
Now, this poor Colossus is trying to kite, but the Ultralisk, yeah, there we go. The last hopes of this player have been extinguished at this point. G, waiting for the second G, is thrown down.